State history. And for Oklahoma State, the player that doesn't get enough attention, in my opinion, Markel Brown, averaging 16 points and 5 rebounds a game. Nobody lists him as a first-team all-conference player. He'd be first-team all-conference in most other leagues. And today, his importance defensively might be just as profound as his offensive requirements.
Absolutely, more so. He will start on Rodney Magruder, and Magruder will see Markel Brown defensively, see some Marcus Smart as well, and Brian Williams coming off the bench, because remember, Magruder went off in the first meeting in Manhattan.
First possession of the game is Oklahoma State's, and David Hall immediately is going to make an administrative move with some of our folks. What's at stake? A lot of chips on the table. Kansas State today, if they win, gets at least a share of the Big 12 title. First time since 1977. Bruce Weber, brilliant early on, National Coach of the Year at Illinois. Sweet 16 at Southern Illinois. And what he's done this year has been nothing short of remarkable in Manhattan. And Travis Ford in his 5th year at Oklahoma State. In winning percentage, only Mr. Iba and Eddie Sutton are better than the 102 wins and the winning percentage for Travis Ford at Oklahoma State, and at home only 11 losses.
A lot of good coaching jobs in this league, but none better than those two that you just talked about, Mitch.
We have matchups here for K-State as Brown starts with the 3. K-State's got some tough matchups with Oklahoma State.
Well, it goes at both ends. You got Rodriguez, Marcus Smart. Both those guys as point guards are going to have to stay out of foul trouble. Brian Nash defensively has struggled. He's got to pick up his game there, because with K-State's motion offense, they're very difficult to defend through the entire offensive possession.
12 to shoot. Rodriguez creative against LeBron Nash. How improved is Angel Rodriguez?
You know, you talk about this. These two teams haven't met in over 2 months. And so it's almost like a new scouting report as Coach Weber and Coach Ford had to come into this basketball game. But you're right. Rodriguez, much improved floor game since the first time these two teams met.
With crab dribble, moving on southward, and Oklahoma State's in the book with Michael Cobbins.
Well, you mentioned the improvement of Angel Rodriguez. How about Mike Cobbins? Confident more and more each basketball game. Good defender, good rebounder, but starting to give them a little offensive punch as well. A lot of movement, a lot of cutting. This motion offense from K-State.
Oklahoma State has put up good defensive numbers this year. 4 to shoot. Irvin's got a pull. And Jurek there for OSU. Cobbins gets fouled by Shane Southwell.
This is 2 possessions in a row, Mitch, that Oklahoma State has gotten the touch to Cobbins. Here's the previous possession. Good little face-up. You got Southwell. He's got some inches on Southwell, so he's able to rise up over the top. He talked about all the different matchups and combinations. This is going to be a chess match today, and Oklahoma State, these last 2 possessions, have gotten the ball to Cobbins.
Rodriguez has to guard Marcus Smart. Gives up about 5 inches to him. LeBron Nash forcing that one. But there's Cobbins. And there's Rodriguez.
You got to be careful with the basketball when you're around Rodriguez and Smart. Top 2 in the league in terms of steals.
Magruder zings that one in. He had 5 threes in Manhattan against Oklahoma State. Brendan, he had 26 in the second half against the Cowboys.
He got loose several times. Oklahoma State switched a lot of screens in that basketball game, and he exploited that, and they've made the adjustment. They will not switch this afternoon.
Smart, that's a bonus when he hits a 3. He is struggling from 3, just 29%, but he knocks that one down.
That's what your concern is. He's had games where he's got that long-range shot going, Mitch. And that gets going. It'll be a long afternoon.
Because he does everything else in superb fashion. And Southwell hits it. Now let's talk about him. It was the Florida game, December the 22nd in Kansas City. They go to a stretch 4 lineup because of Ryan Murphy of the Gators. K-State with him at the stretch 4 is 18-3. Magruder pushing an excellent defense. Showtime! And painted orange and black. The quick shot at the other end leads to the breakup, and defense by Smart at the goal.
Well, what you said right there, the quick shot, and Oklahoma State is at its best when it can get out and run. You have the athletes that they do. Space fillers, lane fillers, as you move from defense to offense. You saw that case in point right there.
Brown again, so very bouncy and athletic defensively, trying to stay in front of Magruder. 6 to shoot.
It's K-State right now on the offensive end, not assertive, just kind of moving the ball around without any purpose.
And Nash takes it at Oklahoma State, leading the way defensively, leading their offense. It was Smart defending the goal, their point guard. Tied at 7. Phillips 66 proudly presents this huge Big 12 basketball game, tied at 7 between 2 of the top 13 ranked teams in the country. All right, now, seeding going into today, a lot to be determined. This could change, but going into the tournament in Kansas City and the Big 12 championships next week, what do you see when you look at the bracket?
I see a wide open Big 12 championship in Kansas City. You know, I think early on, Mitch, we thought the gap between Kansas and the rest of the field, at least through January, was semi-wide, right? And then as time has progressed, teams have improved, and there's 5 teams to me that can go up there in a 3-day stretch and leave that Saturday with the championship. And then you go to a 6th, that would be Baylor, who has the talent, and you have maybe the best playmaker in the league in terms of Pierre Jackson. So that would always concern me. But Mitch, I just see a great 4 days of basketball that who knows what will happen. I think it's going to be that close.
And all made possible by our great friends at Phillips 66. LeBron Nash has had some huge games. Bedlam here, 26 against Oklahoma. He had 28 at TCU in a game that I had. In that game, he played inside out, made good decisions.
Yeah, I was going to say the common theme in those basketball games is LeBron Nash playing 15 feet and in. And a lot of that was the 15-foot free shot that you got from him right there. Him getting to the foul line, aggressive, getting things moving towards the basket. That's when he's had his good basketball games offensively.
7-2 poke line. Dino Williams leaves it short. And Thomas Gibson is over and back.
You've got to be disciplined like Oklahoma State was right there. Good block off from Nash. Keep K-State off the offensive glass. They're very efficient there. Thomas Gibson, a load inside. Terrific on the boards.
Brendan, Oklahoma State giving us 62 points a game. That's the best since Mr. Iba's next to last team in 68-69, and we're seeing some of that to start the game. They've been good defensively.
I tell you what's great is they're great on-the-ball defenders. Their length and athleticism. When they're containing up front, and then they have that length on the back end to help protect the basket, that's when they are at their best.
Spradling playing. He's had the chest injury. They're going to try to squeeze some minutes. Wide open frame for Angel Rodriguez. And sometimes with Angel, he's almost better if he's guarded. He does his best work when it's the toughest.
His teams know not to leave him open like they did right there. He's been so good. I mean, shot the ball well. Obviously, he's scored. Been great the last 9 basketball games. But his 4 game, taking care of the ball, creating for teammates. The way the game has slowed down for him here the last 6 weeks or so, it's been great to see.
Offensive foul of Brian Nash. Called for the first foul of the game.
Yeah, great defense right here, Mitch, from K-State. Get a look at it. Good rotation over. Thomas Gibson set, takes the charge. Good call. Nash has to be careful because he is best when he has some space to work in. He's not real nimble, weaving in and out of traffic, and right there overplaying, so to speak, and K-State with a great defense.
basketball did not play Tuesday night. And K-State's home finale against TCU played very little in that Baylor win at Waco a week ago.
Coach Weber said they're hoping to get 10-15 minutes out of him tonight.
Magruder on the tape. He's been great. Either spotting up, curling. This year taking it on the bounce.
Great away from the ball, reads screens well, and his ability to put it on the floor, Mitch, plays off that great spot-up shooting that he has done over the last several years of his career.
K-State team gritty. Kind of a junkyard dog feel to it. They have won so many tough games. Markel Brown on the curl, on the three. He had 7 at Tech. He had 7 at Kansas.
They love to get him off that down screen, Mitch, where he can curl and move into the shot, and he typically does that on the left side of the floor.
And he's got to convert on the other end. It's got to hang with Magruder. Oklahoma State with a couple of threes. They lead by 3. Incredible move by Rodriguez, and Gibson with the tip in. All done with the creativity of Angel Rodriguez. And now Nino Williams trying to put on his own one-man press.
You can't give up on the play with Rodriguez. You think you have him stopped right here, and then they relax defensively. Rodriguez keeps his dribble alive, makes something happen, and then there's Gibson, who we've talked about, with the tip in.
And then a foul on Marcus Smart. Travis Ford begs to differ. Gibson gets the tip, but then Smart fouls immediately after the K-State bucket.
Travis Ford will get him to the bench. It's not uncommon for Smart to pick up one foul and then pick another up quickly.
There's that tight curl. Magruder cannot pass. Forte did not feel Nino Williams behind it. Gibson easy two, and K-State again the grit and grind. Great Bruce Weber's team.
Yeah, great look from Spradlin. Nice soft hands from Gibson. That's tough for a big fella to do that. That's a great play by Thomas Gibson. Soft hands, catches it, gathers, and makes sure he gets the deuce.
And Brendan, only the 16th turnover by Phil Forte in 740 minutes this year.
That's, in addition to his shooting, one of the reasons he's been able to play so many minutes at this level. Makes very few mistakes with the ball or on defense.
They're not a score. Spradlin quick with that one. Forte this time, a little better presence, looking behind it. Williams is fouling Nash.
Will Spradlin, coming off an injury, Mitch, makes the play right there. Smart play, great finish by Thomas Gibson.
Well, here everything, Doug, that we expected. The intensity cranking up in the last couple of minutes. K-State leading Oklahoma State 13-2. Let's go to the standings and show you why today's game's so important. K-State wins, they get at least a tie of the championship. It's not happened for them in basketball since 1977, but there's Oklahoma State right behind them. They battled for a 3 seed, but not only that, they got a chance for a really good NCAA seed, do they not, Brendan? Meaning Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they do, and you know, this loss obviously doesn't keep them out of that picture, but if you limp into Kansas City, so to speak, losing in Ames, which was no shame to that, certainly be no shame losing to a top 10 K-State team. But as you know, Mitch, at this level, it's what have you done lately that really gives that taste in your mouth, that swagger, that confidence. So this is a big game for K-State in terms of winning a championship, but big for Oklahoma State to regain momentum that they've had so much in the month of February.
And at home, they've been awesome here. 14-2. Only a double overtime loss to Kansas, and Gonzaga by 1. That's 2 1 seeds. That's their only 2 home losses. Smart's already hit a 3. Might be testing the numbers for that.
And a good job defensively, K-State, making sure that Brown doesn't take it. When you're going to pick your poison, you have Brown and Smart on the perimeter. You protect against Brown first. That left Smart open. That was smart, intelligent defense right there.
Smart was 1 for 7 Wednesday night in the game I had at Ames against Iowa State from 3.
Now Brian Williams now for Oklahoma State on Magruder. So Magruder has seen Brown, Smart, and now Brian Williams defensively.
Foul on Nino Williams. That's his second. As the name might suggest, Phillips 66 is the proud sponsor of the Phillips 66 Big 12 Men's Basketball Championship. Both start with Phillips 66. Both stand for performance. It all cranks up next week in Kansas City. Phillips 66, experts in gas since 1927. Travis Ford that time, Brendan, looking like making a big effort to get LeBron Nash at the box. ISO'd against Nino Williams. Near the box.
K-State has really shored up their half-court defense in the last couple of possessions. Been very solid, talking on screens, hedging well. You see that right there? More intense here at this end.
Smart, spin, finish, incredible. Why he's one of the best players in the country, not just one of the best freshmen.
And as I say that, to get the breakdown, that's the thing when you go on a guy like Smart. I mentioned it for Oklahoma State on Rodriguez. You cannot relax at any point.
Gibson, nice touch with that left hand over the right shoulder. He's got 6 sneaky K-State first half points.
You mentioned how well Rodriguez is playing, Southwell, what he has done. You could throw Thomas Gibson in that group, Mitch. His improvement, moving well. Of course, we know what he can do on the glass, but if you get that from him as well, you've got something going.
Cobbins, ill-advised. A little far out for him. You mentioned his improvement, but most of that has been inside it. 2 feet closer than that.
K-State, Mitch, cutting much harder, moving with purpose, better screening action right now.
Cobbins with the block. 7 times in his career. He's had 4 blocks in a single game, an Oklahoma State record. Smart on the attack.
Surveying things, handles the ball strong, double screen right there. And now what you have is you got Thomas Gibson. Irving slow to rotate over to relieve help. You got to seal that off. That gap is where Smart was able to curl back to his right and get that finish.
Linebacker Smart, defensive back athleticism, and a quarterback mind.
Spoken like a guy that is around the game of football a little bit.
I'd take him in football or in any sport. And as competitive as any player you'll find. Williams, the X factor, paints the bottom of the rim.
Has slowed down. It was a little frantic early on. Teams playing hard and intense, but a little bit sloppy. It's cleaned up here for both teams over the last couple of possessions.
Now they got Brown on Magruder. Smart was on him for a while, but OSU gets it switched back. Rodriguez just when you least expect it, he's just right there.
He's like a cat. He's just waiting for his opportunity.
Markel Brown, corner 3.
He's a much improved player. No longer just a basketball player an athlete rather, that plays basketball. Improved jumper.
We got a bottle now. It flies out of the Oklahoma State bench.
Ball movement, extra pass. You know, it just takes a little bit of penetration and help to get the defense scrambling to get reestablished. And as you mentioned, Brown, how well he's shooting it from long range, puts it on the floor good enough. We have to respect that. Of course, his athleticism you've seen for 3 seasons now.
Hold on the Cowboys on the inbounds play. Kamari Murphy is the guilty party. Markel Brown, we talked about his explosiveness. 22 in the first half in that terrific win at Kansas. I had him in a game at Tech. He had 25 and a half. Didn't have to score the rest of the way, but at times, he's been as good as any player in this league in spurts.
Yeah, you could argue him as a first-team all-league player. You know, that's one of the, you know, Reed Geddes went 6 deep on his team.
He cheated.
Because it's difficult to decide. This is one of those years. It's not clear-cut, and so there's varying opinions, but he is somebody you could certainly have in that conversation.
Wow, back-to-back quick fouls on the post. Jurick's got his first. He was hanging on to D.J. Johnson. 2-point lead for the 13th-ranked Cowboys. Again, 14-2 at home this year.
Is this game not intensity-wise exactly what you would expect, Mitch?
Place is filled to the rafters. I feel like Byron Houston or Big Country ought to be around here someplace. A lot of K-State fans have kind of worked their way into the building. It is full up. Brown defended on the three. Look for the breakout. Forte. Nash, a second opportunity. 6 in the first half for LeBron Nash.
Well, that's one of the things that Travis Ford was concerned about as K-State hammered the Cowboys on the boards in the first meeting. He wanted to hold their own today, and so far they've done that and more. Right there pounding the offensive glass, multiple bodies hitting the glass.
Off Brown's foot, but LeBron Nash working the boards for Oklahoma State. K-State out-rebounded him by 15 in January in Manhattan and beat him 18-4 on second chance points. Now this from Phillips, 66. Mitch Holtz is back with Brendan Manzer. Giant game today in Stillwater. 19-15 Pokes, 7:09 left first half. 15 finalists were announced earlier today for the Wendy's Wooden Watch for the John R. Wooden Player of the Year award. Marcus Smart made the cut, Brendan Manzer. When you see the numbers, what a fabulous year for this freshman.
And it's been interesting to watch him progress. Coming in to Oklahoma State, a career here where he hadn't played much point guard. You know, in high school, played mostly off the ball. And in addition, that's just a different level. You can't compare that level. But you could see him grow, much like Angel Rodriguez, as this season has progressed. Still turning the basketball over too much. But as you said, stat stuffer, that this uncanny ability to make plays at crucial moments.
And if I could plead his case in front of the Wooden selection group, I would say what you don't see on the stat sheet makes him as much a candidate as anything. He's made everybody better on this team. Shot clock violation, good defense for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it's just a mistake, a rare mistake by Kansas State team that is typically aware of those type of things. They don't turn it over, Mitch, very often. I think that's just their second turnover. They turn it over less times than any other team in this league, and that goes back to the Angel Rodriguez discussion, if you ask me. And then you throw in the fact that they lead the league in assists. Good ball movement. They know where it needs to go.
Points per possession. Actually, they're tied with Kansas at 1.08 there. Fewer possessions. There's a great back cut. Smart. And an end one opportunity. Spratling there too late on the help.
Well, you're going to see it right here. When you set up a man on a back door, you bring him high up on the floor. See, Marcus Smart was extended well beyond the three-point line, and what that does, it creates more space for the... See, boom, right there, ball fake. Rodriguez doesn't snap his head to find the basketball, and then you mentioned, Mitch, the slow rotation. But how that's set up is you're spacing on the floor. Marcus Smart high above the three-point line, and that allows a guy like Jurick to feel comfortable and have plenty of room to make that pass.
Let's go back to what I mentioned, what he has done for the rest of this team, what he does for LeBron Nash. Leadership-wise, you show up to practice every day, it's like a game for Marcus Smart. Psychologically, he's like a fifth-year senior.
The way I understand it is he befriended LeBron Nash first and foremost when he came to Oklahoma State. And there was a game recently where they were at TCU. LeBron Nash had a monster game. And you could see Smart doing whatever he needed to do to get him touches, possession after possession.
K-State needed a bucket, and they got it. That ended an 8-0 Oklahoma State run.
And when you need one, it's Rodney McGrew that usually steps up.
Bad pass by Brown. unanswered points for Bruce Weber's team.
And how good is it to be Bruce Weber and have your 4 position be able to bring the ball up in transition and not only do that, but make a great decision. Defense didn't commit to him. He continued to flow to the basket.
Smart. 10 points for Marcus Smart. He had 25 in Manhattan against K-State.
Difficult when you play Oklahoma State to defend against that curl. You see it mostly with Markel Brown. Right there, they get it with Marcus Smart.
Third block for Jurek if he gets it. This Oklahoma State team so good at defending the goal. They got 6 guys on the team with 16 blocks, 5 with 18. And Jurek, of course, one of the leaders.
Jurek's quietly had a nice year. When he's been highly productive, protects the rim, rebounds. It's just there's a lot of games where the matchups don't allow him in this league to play a lot of minutes. And it's not because he doesn't bring something to the table. There's only certain games he can play. He can play in this one because he can match up with Thomas Gibson, Jordan Enriquez.
Enriquez hadn't done much. Gibson, the stick back and a foul. Thomas Gibson has come to play. 8 points for the Wildcats sophomore. And a foul on Jurek.
And relentless on the offensive glass. He's done this since the tip. Now watch him. Here he comes. Waits for the moment. No block off. Nobody turns to check him out. Again, finishes right there. Jurek will go sit. But Gibson played really well lately. Playing well here this afternoon.
And here's what's interesting, Brendan, about him. He's hit 20 against Texas Tech, game I had, 17 against Texas, 16 against Iowa State, but all those were at home. His home numbers, road numbers, have been divergent. Today, he's doing it on the road.
I tell you, you like that, but especially since the most important time of the year is March. If you can, which will be your last home or road game, rather, true road game of the season. If you can get him to have that confidence to go away from home, as you will do in postseason play, that'll bode well.
Nash has Gibson on him here. Got a quickness advantage.
Good shot right there. Hey, that was good defense. And this is the first time I've seen K-State in person this year, Mitch. And Thomas Gibson is a noticeable difference in how he's moving last season to this. And I know that's old news, but I can see it plainly. That's good defense, just a better shot by Nash.
Nash and Smart have combined for 18 of the Cowboy 26 points. Rodriguez this time draws the foul on Kirby Gardner.
Here's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just have to shake the offensive player's hand and say, good shot. Look at the containment. Movement keeps him in front. Contest, turn around, block off. Nash knocks it down. You'll take that defensively every time if you're Bruce Weber. Obviously, if you're Travis Ford, you like those shots to go down. But you can't play any better defensively if you're Thomas Gibson than what he just showed right there on what you said, Mitch, is the quicker LeBron Nash.
Angel Rodriguez just 2, but his creativity has led to opportunities for other, most notably Thomas Gibson. At the line, Angel 83%. One of the better free throw shooters in the league. Log on to Big12Sports.com/CTB to check out the Big 12 announcer blogs. This week, Rich Zavosik looks at the teams jockeying for a position. And I want to bring up your blog, too, because you talk about how difficult it is to find 5 guys to put on the first team. You've extended it to 9 in a way that is for consideration.
Yeah, it's difficult to do that. There's 8 or 9 guys that legitimately you could argue should be first team all Big 12. And unfortunately, a couple of those guys are going to be left off. And that's basically what I blogged about yesterday on the website.
Well, let's don't wait any longer here. Let's go to your blog and put it up on the screen. This is your first 5.
Marcus Smart, Ben McLemore, and 5 is the key word. Player of the year is Marcus Smart. No-brainer, Rodney Magruder. Jeff Withey, obviously tremendous year, especially the way he's played the last couple of weeks. Romero Osborne, if you look at his stat line, if you have seen them as many times as I have, you realize in a leadership standpoint, as much as anybody in the league, maybe other than Marcus Smart, what he means to his team. And then finally, I think it's Bruce Weber for Coach of the Year. What a great job he has done transitioning this veteran K-State team and taking a little flavor from Frank Martin and his own to make it a tremendous season. But Marcus Smart comes out ready to play, and he's got off to a slow start, Mitch. How many times have you seen this? He gets disappointed in himself, and he turns it up a notch. And right now, scoring at a high clip, handling it pretty well, curtailed his turnovers so far, but he's got to continue to do that because, you know, K-State is not going to go away.
No Pierre Jackson on your list. No Markel Brown. I'm going to keep pounding the Markel Brown. Now Nash has a size advantage and uses it against Southwest. 10 for LeBron Nash. And again, right around the goal for the most part.
I think it's taken LeBron Nash some time to see the value, and it's okay to play 15, 12 feet and in. You don't have to be a three-point shooter to be a good player.
Southwell trying to size up the three. Shane Southwell, 4 points in this game. He's 45% from three. Gardner in a hurry to the other end. Forte has really struggled from three of late. 1 for 7 against Iowa State. Williams will go to the line. And again, Oklahoma State good at the goal as Rodriguez rejected.
Well, just when you think you have a path to the basket, athleticism comes into play. Kamari Murphy with the block. We got a good one here. High attempt today. Back out to Mitch and Brendan.
Boy, Kentucky, just when you think they're done, they come back and do something. Thanks, Doug. Here, two of the highest profile recruits in the Big 12 generally, and specifically for Oklahoma State, have been the story, Brendan.
And the key is, you know, Smart's going to come and make some plays, but it's Nash. And for a while for Oklahoma State, and he's got off to a great start, it was maybe 1 out of every 4 games. You know, he'd do something special. And then it became every couple of games. And he's been doing it more consistently lately. And I don't think without question that it's him wanting to play the game 15 feet and in. Quit hanging around that three-point line. Play the 4 position. In this league, which you can get away with. You can be, Shane Southwell's done it. We've seen lots of players do it. It's helped him. It's helped LeBron Nash. Sometimes it takes a little time, not that you're going to fight it a little bit, to buy into it. And then once the momentum starts, and hopefully you see its true value. But he has been much more assertive on the offensive end.
6 different times, to your point. This was early on now. Single-digit scoring games. Those are things of the past. There's Williams' effort. It'll be Oklahoma State's ball. And Brian Williams missed all those games with that wrist injury, and mentioned a variable here for Oklahoma State.
Well, this is what they did not have in the first meeting. And they didn't know if they'd even have him this season with that wrist injury. But last season as a redshirt freshman, as the year progressed, he was obviously their best perimeter defender. And then when you play a great player like Rodney McGruder, you need to have a guy like that to give yourself a chance to win.
Smart trying to avoid the foul. Cobbins cleans it up.
Speaking of playing better in confidence, Mike Cobbins the last 6 weeks or so, it's just been an ascension in terms of his confidence, his activity at both ends of the floor and right there. You got to check him off. He's long and athletic, but you got to be disciplined and find him.
McGruder takes the contact and the score. David Hall has the foul on Brian Williams of Oklahoma State.
Here's Mike Cobbins, Mitch. Here's Smart. Going in, takes a tough shot over Thomas Kins. The help was forced. That a lot of times frees up a weak side offensive rebounder. It was Cobbins this time. Long, athletic, continuing to improve. And I was getting ready to say, when K-State needs something, he senses it. Rodney McGruder knew, I've got to go get something done. The crowd's into this. Stop this momentum and go make a play. And he does it so quietly. He doesn't pound his chest when he makes a play. Doesn't hold up the 3 sign when he knocks down a 3. Just a very polished, professional attitude out there on the floor.
First field goal in the last 2:52 for K-State. Nash, man, what a factor he has been, and again went right to the goal.
This is 15 feet and in. We've talked about it. Comes off a little bit of a rub. Nino Williams gets hung up, falls. path to the basket. But as he went, it was aggressive. No hesitation. See this right here? Hard dribble right to the rim. No complacency. And Nash finds himself once again to the foul line.
Williams a little straight up and getting nailed on that screen. Yeah, look at his season average. He's 14 points a game, and he's sitting on a dozen right now. Normally a good foul shooter. He's made 2 of 3 this afternoon.
As we showed on the graphic earlier, Smart and Nash having big first halves. But look at the score. So K-State hasn't played great either. Taking 5 points right now, and a chance to close out the half in a good way.
Irving splashes the 3 off the feed from Gibson.
That's a good start right there.
It's kind of K-State's story.
Yeah.
I mean, their cookbook this year has had a million recipes to win, but it's centered around toughness and being smart. Brown now. Diaz does not check off Brian Williams.
Too many athletes for Oklahoma State to not be disciplined and find bodies. Cobbins before a couple possessions gets the putback dunk. This time Brian Williams.
And now K-State throws it away. Again, K-State wiped out Oklahoma State on the boards in Manhattan back in early January. Outscoring them 18-4 in second chance points, but Oklahoma State now in the last minute or so using that stat against K-State. Foul and Rodriguez. And Nash a little chip in. David Hall quick to react. Rodriguez saying
they called a foul on Rodriguez right here. I don't know. Let's see this one again. See, Rodriguez will get a hand in. Watch this, boom. Ball breaks free. Now here comes Rodriguez. Tough call right there, Mitch. It looked like a jump ball. I told you, you got to be careful when Rodriguez is around you. You have to respect and understand that. Quick hands, quick feet. He's low to the ground. It makes it that's much more difficult to handle the basketball around him.
Nash, free throw down. He'll get another, and Oklahoma State can get a 6-point lead at 50.7 to go in the first half. All right, bracketology is not only daily, it's like morning to afternoon to evening. It changes so much. Your thoughts on Joe Lunardi's Big 12 view of bracketology?
I think those 5 are secure. I mean, obviously Kansas State, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma, Ron Kruger, speaking of great coaching jobs, terrific shape. I think Iowa State is good. I think that's fair. I think all those teams sit. I think Oklahoma could be a little bit higher. Obviously, Joe does a great job, and we'll see what ends up working out. Baylor has a lot of work to do. But according to Joe, who's the best? I mean, they're on the cusp still. I mean, if you get a win today against Kansas, all of a sudden you're back in the mix of things. So
Joe Lunardi, the most popular nerd in school. But I thought K-State, you could almost argue K-State is a 3 seed. I mean, they're sitting in 9th ranked in the country, and the polls isn't only going to follow his curve. And OSU, I mean, OU is a 10. I could see them a little higher than that, maybe.
I see. I mean, I think K-State's a 3 seed. I mean, what they've done this season, people that they have beat. If you've watched their improvement, good point guard play, great player in Rodney Magruder, some bigs that can do some things, and then Shane Southwell, who's kind of an X factor. And then you throw in some depth and some experience. This is a very good basketball team. They're definitely one of the top 12 teams to me in the country.
15-second differential. Trying to shoot. K-State a long way away. They've already used their use it or lose it. He's got to shoot it. Was it a violation? No. They play on. And another block by Oklahoma State. But off of a hustling Smart and out of bounds to the Wildcats. They'll get the last crack at 9.1.
And a great defensive possession from K-State. From Oklahoma State right there. But Rodney McGruder heads up play. Just throws it off the backboard, hits the rim, follows it up. Cobbins, the athleticism right there. And a chance for K-State, though, to get some more points on the board heading into halftime.
Brendan, 5 first-half blocks for Oklahoma State. K-State's got a pull here. McGruder missing. Oklahoma State with a 6-point lead at halftime.
So LeBron Nash, along with his teammate Marcus Smart, big hurt first half. 24 points combined on just 12 shots, Mitch. That's about as efficient as it can get. Bruce Weber will discuss that at halftime, but this one's going to go down the wire, I promise you.
The Cowboys have used their 2 Metroplex big-time recruits, and K-State, playing for a conference title, is down 6 at intermission.